Hey everyone, it's Apache here and welcome back to Feed the Beast Beyond here on the CreedCraft server. This is episode 3 and today we're going to be playing around with Botania. There's a couple of things I want to do with Botania. The very first thing is I am wanting to build with this living rock. It's a daunting task because it takes so long to actually produce this stuff. You have a pure daisy here and you place 8 stone around it, and after 1 minute, after 60 seconds, it transforms into this living rock. But this living rock does have a beautiful texture to it. If I dig it all up here and I turn it into the stone form, just 4 in a crafting grid there, and this stone has a beautiful texture to work with. Look at this. I love this texture, and if you put 4 of these into your crafting grid here, you get these chiseled kind of column bits as well, which are also really nice. So I'm just going to sleep for a minute. I still haven't properly spawn proofed this area, so the sooner I sleep the better. But I don't know if you've seen behind me on the mini map, I have a building which I've been working on, which is this. You can see I've done a little bit of the living rock just to see what it'll be like. I'll kill this creeper before he destroys it all. But yeah, this is the kind of spawn build that I want to make. It's going to be a kind of a grand mansion, I suppose. And I'm using this ebony wood as well. This ebony is beautiful texture and doors are really nice as well. So it's going to be a very grand structure. You can see I put the doors in, so it gives us, 4 rooms at the bottom plus an entrance hall, and then it's going to have a second floor in it as well. So if I come down into the building here, you can see this is going to be the entrance hall here. We've got 4 doors leading off into 4 different rooms. This is going to be the ceiling height here, and this is going to be the floor height of the next floor. So it's going to be 2 stories plus the eaves, so it's going to be 3 stories in total. So on the ground floor here, I think we'll have, say, my bedroom, or a store. Actually, no, bedroom will be on the first floor. So this will be, say, a storage room, and we can have a kind of sandboxing room for working out different projects, power generation room, and I don't know what else we could have down here. And then up on the first floor here, we'll have bedrooms. So I'll have probably 2 bedrooms maybe, and we'll do one as a spare bedroom or as a guest bedroom. And then at the back, I'm thinking about having this whole floor here as one big room in which we can have as a trophy room, kind of like we did in, well, we were going to do in Hermitcraft, in Hermit Pack. But never really got the chance to because it wasn't that much of a long-lived series. So in this series I will have this as a trophy room at the back, really nice big trophy room right in spawn so that everyone can come and see it. And I'm sure there's going to be loads of stuff we can put in there from this pack to put on display. And then we'll have the grand roof on it here. I think the roof will, like a shallow roof which goes up to the centre and then back down again here. So you can see people are starting to put buildings up. I think Halifa has put up a building over there. And here you can see some more of the terraforming and landscaping that I've done. I've got doors coming out the sides of these here. These look a bit weird at the moment because the floor height is actually quite high here. And I've put the floor height this high so that we can put cables and conduits underneath, and that's why there's a gap in the floor here as well, so we can put the cables up to the first floor as well, and also up to the eaves into the second floor. But there's a nice area here which I think I am going to dedicate in the end to Botania, and maybe to roots as well, depending on how far we get. And I'm going to landscape this as a kind of overgrown orchard area that leads off up the hills. So I've done what I usually do, and I've completely cleared out the area. I've filled in all the hollows underneath, or lit up all the caves that couldn't be filled in, and so we've got a really nice kind of clean slate to work on, and then we can add in all the kind of prettification and beautification later on. We'll add a load of tall grass in again and flowers around. I want this to be a very organic build because we're using a living rock. We're using a lot of stuff from Botania in this. The only thing I can't work out is what to use for window panes, because I've got them kind of chicaned in here, or recessed in even, with the stairs, which creates a really nice effect with when you put panes in. But there's no decent panes here. I'll show you. I've got some normal panes and I've got some mana glass panes over here. So if I go into building materials, I think it is, there's some normal panes and there's the mana glass panes. Now I've just got enough of each to show you the difference between these. I still think the glass pane, the regular glass pane from Minecraft, is probably my favourite because it gives the kind of texture to it, and you can actually tell that it's window. You can tell there's something there. Now if I use mana glass on this side, you can see that it almost completely disappears and there's no kind of there's nothing to it. I want to be able to see that there's a window there. So if you know any kind of leaded glass or something like that would be perfect. But as a pane, if you know anything like that in the pack or anything we can make, any links to kind of Chisel and Bits designs that I could have a look at before I try it myself. Because I think that might be the route I will have to go, is trying to design something in Chisel and Bits. So you'll have kind of a 2 pixel wide border around each of these, and that may be the best way to do it. But if you know if there's any simpler way to do it, please let me know down in the comment section, so that'd be really handy. The biggest problem with building with this living rock is that it takes so long to build it. It takes so long to actually make it, as I said before. Process putting 8 of the stone around. So one of the first things I want to do with you today is actually kind of industrialize the process a little bit. I don't want to fully automate it at the moment. We'll be doing a lot of the automation with Botania later on in the series. So for now, I just want to build a few more of these pure daisies so that I can kind of jumbo size the project. And so I've got my little Botania thing here, on my Botania chest. And so for this, it's a very, very simple recipe. We're going to need 4 of these white petals, and in fact I will need some bone meal, the shears, and I will need some regular seeds, so foodstuff and nature, and just regular seeds. I probably had some in there anyway. And I will put some more stone on to cook. And there we go. And so in a minute that will transform. So the first thing we're going to do is create some more of these plants. And so I'm going to plant all of these. And I know you don't need to plant all of them, but I may as well, just to speed up this whole experience. And so now once they're seeded, you can see where they're seeded with the particle effects. If we bone meal them, they turn into a very tall plant. And that wasn't one. And so if we bone meal all of these, even where I missed them, you can see we've got a lot of plants here now. And now if we cut these down with shears, we get the actual tall plant back. So tall, mystical, white flower. And then if we put this into here, we get 4 of the petals. So you're quadrupling the petals basically. And so we'll get all of those. I missed one here, so I'll add some more bone meal onto there and use the shears on there. And while I'm at it, I might as well get rid of all of this stuff as well. just neaten off the whole area, and I can get some grass as well for the actual additions later on. That'll be important. And so I'll put this stuff back into my nature chest. I've got chests overflowing at the moment. I need to do a clear out, but for now it's okay. And I just put those in, didn't I? Where did they go? Aha, there they are. Okay, so now if we put these into the crafting grid, we can get a load more of these. We've got 50 in total now. We had 14 before. And keep throwing stuff away. Don't press Q. And we'll put the shears back in there, the bone meal back in there, and keep those ones out. So I just want to clean up my inventory a bit. So reagents, put those in, and building materials, put those in, and that. And so you see now, after a minute, it has become stone, so we can cut this down again. And put some more of the stone on. And so I want to know where each of these are needing to go. So I'm going to just put down some stone here in the correct pattern, so we can see exactly where these plants need to go. So we need 1, 2, 3, and how many will I do? Yeah, I think that will do for now. Okay, so to make the plants, we need in this petal apothecary here. I have actually done a bit of automation with this. I've got a sink here with a mechanical user, or 2 mechanical users with a item conduit between them that passes back and forth a bucket which empties and gets empties into it every time the petal apothecary gets emptied. And so with this we throw in 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a seed, and I just threw the seeds away. So that is in food, stuff and nature. Just grab a load of seeds and put one of these in as well, and you can see it automatically fills up again. So we'll do this a few times. I don't know if I can do this actually. Let's have a look. No. So how do I take these out? I'm not sure how to take these out now. I'll be right back once I've worked this out. Okay, so I ended up just breaking the petal apothecary and all the petals came back to me, so I can start this again. I need to remember that you can only do this one at a time, or so far as I know at the moment. But because it refills, it is a relatively quick process, so I shouldn't worry too much. And we'll see how many more I need after this. I don't think it's too many. Actually, this is enough. So we put 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there. And that should allow me to get a lot more of this living rock much quicker. And so I don't have a camera account on this server at the moment. I'm trying to get one up and running. So I will do this in progress updates for now, and we'll see how we go with that. I want to get the ground floor, kind of all of this cobblestone that I put in, I want to get that changed out for living rock, and we'll see what we do after then. Today also I want to get started on building a bit of the kind of infrastructure for Botania, and getting some mana set up as well. So I will be right back in a minute and I will show you the progress I've made. Okay, so here we are, and I've done quite a lot. I've done most of the first floor, or most of the ground floor, I've run out of materials though for the moment. I've run out of this ebony wood, and I put this oak wood in as the main floor and a dark border around the edge, which I think makes a really nice effect, and I'm really liking it so far. So I've got a few extra things I need to put in, just a couple of little bits I've missed out here and there, just like that one. And obviously I'm not sure what to do with the walls yet, with these bits of the walls. So I've just added in this as a frame for now, and depending on where this is, that only goes up to there, so that's alright. So yeah, there's not really much else I can do in here for now. As I said before, I'm not sure what to do for the window panes. So if you know anything that would look very good in here, better than the normal Minecraft glass, which is my favoured option for now, but if there's anything better, then I'll add that in instead. I'm really not that keen on this mana glass. It's too clear, it's too plain. I need something a bit more, I don't know, I like to say Renaissance, but it's not. It's a bit more stylized, a bit more kind of leaded windows or something like that would be perfect. You can see across the top here I've added in a bit of decoration with stairs, and I've started adding in these chisel blocks here, just to break up the textures a bit. If you stand back it looks very flat, and so I'm going to start playing around with different textures and trying to add a bit of depth into the build, add a border around the edge of it to try and lift it up out of the landscape a bit. And I need, as I said before, I need to get more ebony wood, which means I need to go to different villages around the area, try and find an arborist that sells some saplings, and try and get some saplings off him. Or if what I got these from was an arborist's house that happened to be made out of ebony, and so I dismantled his house. So that is the build for now. Please let me know what you think of it down in the comment section, whether you like it, whether you hate it. I don't mind either way. Let me know your thoughts on this thing. For a spawn base, I suppose it is relatively big, but I've got a lot of stuff I want to add in here. I'm not going to be moving away from spawn for quite a while. We're using a large biomes map, so everything is really far away. Now I've got flight, I can actually go scouting around, having a look for a different location. I'm not exactly sure where I want to build this season. I know I won't be building in the ice biome, which is close by. It's about a 6,000 block wide ice biome, which is crazy. But I want to look for somewhere different. Maybe a desert, and we'll do like an Abu Dhabi style sprawling village strokes, which turns into a city and something like that. I don't know yet. I've got an idea for what I want to do. I want to build relatively futuristic this season rather than a kind of medieval style that I did last season. So this is a way of kind of bridging the gap. I wanted to do a modern design here, so like a modern manor house or mansion style. I'll say modern, it's more modern than medieval anyway. So yeah, let me know what you think, and let's get on with some mana production. Okay, to start generating mana with Botania, first of all we're going to make this Lexica Botania. It's just a book and an oak sapling. Very simple recipe, and this will give us all the information we need to know about Botania itself. I've had a quick little research up on stuff, and so I know what I'm doing for now. So this is just for reference if we get stuck. But the first thing we're going to need, or the next thing we're going to need, is a mana pool. And so this is just 5 living rock in a U shape at the bottom there, makes a mana pool. And we can place this down on the floor just here. And then we're going to need a wand of the forest. So this is 3 living wood twigs you get from living wood. And living wood you get from placing wood around these pure daisies in exactly the same way as you do for the living rock with stone. And so this is just 3 living wood twigs with any white or any petals, mystical petals in that slot, and that gives you the wand of the forest. This allows you to change the kind of direction this flows, whether mana flows into it or mana flows out of it. I'm going to be playing around with mana quite a bit this series, trying to work out what's the best way to pipe it around and move it around from base to base. I've got a few ideas, but there's very little you can do with it because it's not a liquid and it's not a gas or anything. It's not an item, so you can't pass it through pipes. And the last thing we're going to need crafting wise for now is a mana spreader, which is 6 living wood, a gold ingot, and another petal, any colour petal. So we're going to need that as well. And now, so Botania is all about plants, and these plants generate mana. Or some plants generate mana, some plants do other stuff, like the pure daisies. And the first mana generating plants we're going to make are called endoflames, and they soak in coal and stuff like that, stuff which burns essentially. And so we're going to place the recipe in here. You can see the recipe for it itself is in the petal apothecary, I still can't say that word, 2 mystical brown petals, 1 mystical red petal, and 1 mystical light grey petal produces an endoflame. And so I've got them all here, and so I'll bring these down into my hotbar for now. And so it is 1 of these, and 2 of these produces plus a seed, sorry. So I'll grab some seeds. And that's, you can see on the tooltip there, it produces a endoflame. And so we should just be able to put that into there. And now it refills. Now I think if I right click on here, it allows me to reproduce the last recipe placed into it. And so it's a lot quicker way than I was doing before with the petals. So I can just wait for it to refill. And I'll just make a few of these. Okay, so now we have the 8 endoflames. We can now place these down in a square around or close to the mana pool, and then we can place our mana spreader in the middle. And so we're going to place that just there. And at the moment it's not configured at all, so we're going to need to configure all of these with the Wand of the Forest. And now that it's night time, I'll give a quick sleep. The one starts off in bind mode. And so there's 2 different modes to it. You can see here there's bind mode and function mode. We want it in bind mode. You can see the tooltip on the hotbar changes as well. And so we're going to shift right click on the mana spreader and then shift right click on the mana pool itself. And you can see that these 2 are now connected. And then we're going to do the same with the flowers. So we're going to connect the flowers to this particular mana spreader. I'm not sure what the maximum amount is you can have on one mana spreader, but it seems to be quite high when I've been testing with it. So I'm hoping that it can work with 8 of them. And just make sure these are done. It's a bit fiddly, especially when you're working within these kind of small confines. But there we go. I think that's everything connected now. And so now if we throw some block of coal in the general direction of these flowers, they start producing mana for us. And we should see this starting to fill up now with mana. And so I'm just going to throw in a load of coal there, and they'll slowly soak all that coal up. Well, actually quite fast. And throw all of that mana out into this mana pool. And you can see it filling up there. So now we've got some mana accumulated, we can actually start doing stuff with it. There's not a huge amount in here, but it's enough for what we need to do for now. And so the main aim I want to use this mana for today is to produce a rod of a shifting crust. This will allow me to, again, landscape a lot easier, because it's the only way of swapping blocks out in the game that I can see at the moment. Now that we don't have not enough wands mod in the pack, it will take the place of the swapping wand from there. And so to make this, it's a bit of a rabbit warren recipe. You can see we need 2 living wood sticks, 2 of any stone, and a rune of the sloth. And it's the rune of the sloth which is difficult, If I come over here, I've set up a few crafting tables here, and you can see this is the recipe at the moment as it stands, and we don't have a Rune of the Sloth. So what does a Rune of the Sloth need? It needs 2 mana diamonds in a runic altar, as well as a Rune of Autumn and a Rune of Air. The Rune of Autumn itself is 3 leaves, a spider eye around a runic altar, with a Rune of Fire and a Rune of Air. So we need 2 runes of air in total. And the Rune of Fire is Netherwort, Gunpowder, Netherbrick, Mana Steel Ingot and Mana Powder around a runic altar. And so we're going to get on with that now. I've built up all the recipes as they stand. And so we're going to go, what order should we do this in? First of all, I need to put an ender pearl in here first. I'll actually drop it in the thing. And that will give me a mana pearl. And then if I put that mana pearl into here, this will make the runic altar. And so that is the first step. And I am assuming that this needs some mana for it to work. So I'm going to put this over here, and I'm going to use that crafting table to produce another mana spreader. And so I just grab a gold ingot and another petal, and I'll just produce another mana spreader as well. That one there and that one there. And this mana spreader will come off of this mana pool, so I'll place it there. And I will want to attune this one to this, and that'll start throwing mana from this pool into there. And so because a lot of this is going to use mana, I might need to add more coal into it. The next thing we're going to do is throw these 2 diamonds into the pool, and that will give us mana diamonds. You see a theme happening. And so this is our recipe crafting station for the Rune of the Sloth itself. So that needs 2 mana diamonds, so they're in there. And this is just a nice place to store them for now. And so if we go back in, next thing I want to build is these Rune of the Air, because we need 2 of these. You get 2 of them anyway. And so we need, that is this crafting station here. We're going to need to put a gunpowder and an iron ingot into the mana pool. And I'm also going to grab this from here as well, because this is for the Rune of Fire, and you need those as well for that. And so first of all we get the mana powder from gunpowder, and then we get iron ingots turned into mana steel ingots. And this mana steel is going to be very important later on. We're going to be putting a fair few stacks of iron into this. And so we have the first recipe completed is this one here. And so I'm going to put these back into there so we don't get them mixed up. And so if we come over here and just throw out all of these onto here, you can see that starts spinning around and mana is being thrown into it from this mana pool. I don't exactly know how much it needs. I'm going to sleep quickly as well. And hopefully this should be done soon. I don't know how long it takes, so I'll cut away if it's too long. Okay, I've just seen that it's full on mana, but it needs a living rock to be able to transform it. And so, if we get some living rock here, if we place that onto it, do we? I think that goes onto there, and then we right click it with that. Yes, and that gives us the 2 runes of air. And so we can come into here and add that to our recipe. And in this one, this is the Rune of Autumn, 3 leaves, spider eye, Rune of Air and Rune of Fire. And so that is that one. And now we just need these ones and these ones, which will give us the Rune of Fire. So I'm going to do the same again. So now you can see the lightning crackle. We can throw a living rock on and right click it. And that gives us two runes of fire. So if we place that one in there, and I will get rid of this one in here so that we're not messing around with that. We'll also put the living rock, I'll need the living rock actually. And so the next one we need is this Rune of Autumn. So I'll grab the ingredients for that, and again I will get this sorted. And now that the lightning's crackling on here, place a living rock on and right click. Wow, that actually gave us a few. So what did that give us? Gave us a Rune of Air and the Rune of Fire back, and we now have a Rune of Autumn. And so we can place this in here and put these ones away. I wasn't expecting it to give us the runes back. I wonder if it'll do it with these ones as well. And so we can take these ingredients and do it one last time and get the Rune of Sloth. And now that this is crackling, again we can make that. And yes, we get the runes back as well. So we will come into here and just put these runes away. It's good to know that you get these runes back. Unless you actually craft with them. There's one other thing I want to do. I've put some more coal onto here. I want to make another mana pearl. If I can actually throw it in properly. Be standing right above it, and there you go. And I want to make a mana tablet. And the mana tablet will allow me to store mana so that I can actually carry it around with me. So you can see it was just 8 living rock with a mana pearl in the middle. And so this mana tablet, you fill it up by basically putting it on top of a mana pool. And so we can see here, you can see the mana pool at the moment, the direction is from a mana pool to a tablet. If you shift right click it, it goes from the tablet into the mana pool. So this is a nice way of actually storing mana as well. So we're just going to put that there and allow it to soak up all of the mana that it can. And so now we're actually finished with the Rune with Runic Altar, and we can come in here, place the Rune of Sloth on there, and we get the Rod of a Shifting Crust. So now we have some mana stored up within the mana tablets, we can actually use the Rod of a Shifting Crust. And I'll show you how it works quickly before we finish the episode today. If you place down a block that you want to convert to, and then shift right click it, don't throw it away, but shift and right click it, you'll see that now this is Rod of a Shifting Crust and it says dirt in the tooltip. So that is the block that it will convert to. It's very much like the swapping wand in this instance as well. So if we travel over here, and there's some sand over here, and we want to get rid of this sand, if you left click, then it will just change one, and if you right click and hold right click down, it'll get rid of all of them in a set radius. But it will throw them out into the world as entities, so you do have to go around and pick them up. And there's a cave here. And so that is the Rod of a Shifting Crust. You can see how easy it's going to be now to go around and landscape and fix up these riverbanks. Up to now I've been digging out all of this sand kind of by hand and replacing it with dirt. But now I can just go along and convert it like this. So it's going to be much simpler and much quicker to do as well. So thank you for joining me today. If you have any feedback on the building that I created today, please let me know down in the comment section. It's nice to have your feedback, whether it be good or bad. Give me some hints and tips for the future. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment and subscribe on the video and to the channel. I can't tell you how much it really does help out having your feedback and your interaction with the channel. So thank you very much, and I will see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please consider supporting me by subscribing to the channel and liking and commenting on the videos. Thanks. See you next time.